I still with a very simple and stupid question. Who knows what is strategy? Give me 2 single words, and please, those of you who are highly intelligent and sophisticated, think simple. Put yourself back in the shoes of your very, very, very junior employees and managers. 2 words attached to the word strategy as a must.
Plan.
It's too detailed, it's good. Strategy is already some sort of a plan. Goal. I like the word goal. Can you give me a better typical academic word for that? There are 3 words, they speak in one road. You're all very close. If I want to talk about, sorry? That's already, path is within that strategy. You have one thing first, it's your vision. Agreed? You have this big cloud up there. It's foggy, it has no frames, has no limits, could be anything. I want to land on that planet. Then you say, okay, let's do that. Let's make it happen. So you turn it into a mission. Okay, the vision, your mission, and now you turn and produce a strategy in order to reach that. Okay? Now, it's cool to have a vision and stick to it because you want to achieve it. It's a goal, it's a target. But how desperate you stick to that vision, the same flexible you will keep your strategy. So if anyone inside this room thinks, I set up a strategy and I stick to that, that's very wrong. And we have different types of it. Germans, imagine, while you stay there, can I use that? Sure. Stay there. Don't go far away. Sorry. Imagine big mountain, and Germans want to drive with their car from one side to the other side. What is their strategy? Tunnel. Effective, short, quick, break everything, go there. Chinese, mountain, road. How do they do that?
Destroy.
No. Chinese pay extreme attention to nature. They love it. Their gods are living in there. So these guys go around every little stone like water. You know, they find their way. 2 totally different Americans, press the button. Yes, press the button. So 1 target, 1 vision, 2 totally different strategies with extremely different consequences. Okay? Strategy is made to be changed and questioned constantly. Now I have given in the back of the room 2 green piece of paper. Is that right? Can you put it up? Keep this in your hand with this, and keep this in your hand. Okay. I give you 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes. I'm going to time it. You can speak to anyone around you. So from here downwards, from here downwards. Both teams on both sides, you have one goal. I want this green paper to be passed on from row to row, from a certain person to the person, to reach this line. Okay? I want you to set up your strategy. So decide which way you want to go. Like, I go to him, to there, there. So you really decide the points. Okay? Quick, 2 minutes. No, don't do it. Plan your strategy first. Just, yes, that type of things. 1.5 minutes. I love chaos.
Thank you for that.
Oh no, my God. I mean, I'm honored to have you. Make the dots. Look, both of you. Axel Kwok. Axel. And gentleman in black shirt. Gentleman in black shirt. No. Oh, hey, I am teaching. That's life. They need to look at me. Look at me. Axel, Axel, look at me. And silencio. ¿Es silencio? Per favor. You take your piece of paper. You're not listening. Axel, you're not listening either. Take your piece of paper. Make rows. 3 each. And put crosses. The way you want to design your strategy. Okay? Yep. There you go. 1 more minute. 50 seconds.
No pressure.
40 seconds. 40 seconds. 40 seconds. 30. 20. No, don't go. Back. I didn't say start. Okay, stop. Stop. Do you have a wait. Pay attention, everyone, because I need to be, if you talk, I have to talk, and they freak out. Are you guys ready? So, what is your first move?
Pass to him.
No, do it, as the plan says. Okay, wait. I didn't say what is your next move. This is yours. This is yours. This is yours. Everything which is orange is a dot you cannot pass on to. If you have a piece of, where is your next move? Who is the next move?
Straight
Give it to him.
straight to the front.
No, you have to go row by row. So, who is, show me, cheated, strategy failed. Strategy failed. Why? Why did this strategy fail? They didn't listen to the vision and to the mission they had. They had a clear mission. They had a vision, and the vision is foggy. You can do it the way you want. You want to get it to front. But in order to really achieve it, you put a very strict mission and a very, very clear strategy, which you're able to change anytime. So there is no real fuck up. You're not dying. You only need to change your strategy. So think, where are you going then? No, after that, pass it on to the next person. Don't show it to me. Oh, don't show it to me. No, you stay, so they are leading. Did you finish your plan? No, wait. You fucked up, so you need to be a little bit behind. So, now is your turn. Where is that next move going? Where is that next move going?
Right, straight ahead.
Show me and go ahead. Okay, go. Where is your next move? Okay, already you have seen, actually, I gave this guy even a red card. So you didn't even pay attention to very obvious obstacles. So stay there, redesign your strategy. Where is your next move? Pass it on. You're lucky. That went just random, but it worked out, which is good. You know, you need a bit of luck, someone wise told me. And he actually said, I even teach you how to be lucky. You know, so I'm still waiting for that class. I guess you get the idea, right? We could play that to the front. I save us time. My point being, thank you very much, sir. Yes, papers are trees, and I use trees very often before I burn them. Thank you very much. So, did you get a picture, roughly? If I very, very simple would want to design for you the whole cycle of the vision, creation of it, the mission, and then building the strategy. Now, why did I call this fundamentals? It's true, we want to have a vision, we want to have a strategy together, but all of that, what for? So I personally believe, and the professors I had the honor to work with, we focused on the word creating value. if I'm putting together a vision and I want to set up a strategy for it, if that strategy is not leading into creating and capturing value, why do I want to do it? It's a waste of my time. I want to create and capture value. So, who can tell me, now even the wise people among you are allowed, who can tell me what's the difference between creating and capturing value? Think about it for a second. And those of you who are senior, you don't want to mess with your name and reputation. So if you're not 100% sure, pretend as if you know it and you're leaving the youth the ground. Okay? That would be very wise to do. So that's the 10 seconds I wait, and then I tell you what it is. But anyone, like if I go directly, you look away, that means like, don't ask me, but I might ask you. So don't look away. You were looking at me a lot, so do you know what creation of value is? Yes or no? It's nice to dare. A good no is great. Not knowing is fantastic. If you all know things, it's boring to be here. Do you know what creation value is? I like you. Anyone here I can challenge? Okay. The one fundamental which makes the difference between creating and capturing is creating is for the others. Capturing is for yourself. That's really important to know. Don't think you are creating value for yourself. Your mission in your life, in your professional life, is to create value for the people out there. Once you talk about capturing value, you are thinking of your pockets. That's where Marco and I say money. So we are capturing value. In fact, we reinvest that captured value into the community. I have to say that too. Otherwise, we would have been not partners. But still, the first step of capturing value is for yourself, for your organization, to pay your costs, to reinvest, to grow, to pay your shareholders, whatever dimension you're working on. So when you set up a strategy, you always think of these both dimensions. How can I create? What is my value proposition that creates value for others? And what is my strategy out of this created value to capture value for myself? Okay? Companies who cannot combine this are doomed. Let me give you a couple examples. So, back to this, capture and creation. Academics love 4 squares. Everything we do, all our models, 99% of them, are actually based on this. Nowadays, having creatives, we put some more colors, we make circles, nice bubbles here and there. It's just cosmetics. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's true. We have the Harvard business standing here, so I'm like sweating like a dog, having the master of universe watching over my shoulder. My God. Every wrong word can kill me. So I mentioned that to you, right? Creating value. It's for your clients. And when I say clients and for the market, I mean people. There is one funny part about all of you startuppers here. Giorgio, a good example of it. When we talk about our products and services, and we talk about this word consumers and clients, we fucking forget that we are one of them. We always talk about them as a third person, because we are on this side, we do something for them. But at the same time, in the afternoon, we go out and we are one of them. We also go to the shop and buy stuff. We are that consumer ourselves. Because we often forget this, we can't really have the empathy needed to put ourselves in their shoes. If we do that, we produce a lot better. So, when I say clients and the market, I mean us. Okay? Every single individual who is somehow in the chain benefiting out of that. So, meaning, even if you're working for a big company and producing something for a car industry, if you're servicing an IT company, don't forget, they in their chain pass it on to the end users. So you are effectively impacting that end user. Consider that in your strategy, okay? So that's what I mean by this, who is our client? And their needs. So I really go down the chain when I design that strategy. And again, the value you're offering. That's that creating. Whereas capturing, as I said, is facing your pockets. So you're talking about the revenue models you can have, the value proposition internally. You're talking about the stakeholders. And do you know what I'm talking about when I say stakeholders? Because I have here the investors, shareholders. I have the reinvestment. But who are these stakeholders? Say one. Yes, thank you. Everything. The whole ecosystem around your organization is the stakeholders. It could be the providers, it could be like clients, but it could be every employee you have, the doorkeeper, the T-boy, anyone. T-boy I say because every time I travel to Asia for work, there are always like 3 or 4 or 5 people. They do nothing but bringing you tea and fruit, which is nice. It's some kind of creating work. So interesting. We have coffee machines. They have 4 people being paid their lives just to bring you your coffee. You know that. So let me show you the dynamic. Capturing value, creating value. You remember I said this is for the others, this is for us. High, low, low, high. You can imagine the picture? You can see that? So think of an organization or a type of organization sitting in here, earning money like mad, keeping it in its pockets, not giving much to the others. What is a typical company? Sorry? Good, perfect. Go ahead, think a little bit more. So there is certain characteristics behind this. No. Sorry? Yes, you're very close. What is the main character? How can you sit there and capture value the whole time without any fear? Fantastic. Monopolists sit here. Microsofts of this world before Apple comes and say, I take it over. So you sit there, you're a monopolist, you have the chance to do whatever you want, you dictate the price, you don't give a shit if they like your service or not, because they have no other choice. If you are German Telecom and there is no public telecommunication system, you sell shitty ADSL for horrendous prices until Vodafone comes and say, I do it for half the price, twice faster. And then you start to, oh my God, I need to do some marketing and I need to rebrand and look sexier. Okay, so value captured with low value creation belongs to monopolists. That's why I call this corner the dream. It's beautiful to be there. It's fantastic. Be there, you know. And what happens if you're in there?
Everybody hates you.
No, but what before that happens, it's true. But in fact, and that's the nice part, as long as you haven't heard, yeah, exactly. First of all, why would you want to go anywhere else? Of course you don't want to go anywhere else. That's the place to be. And that's hitting what you mentioned. As long as it's not really, really, really hurting, I try to la 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 la. Why would I? So, you know, as long as the competitive pressure is not there, you pretend nothing is happening. You stay there. Sorry that I'm coming.
No, sorry.
I'm just trying to get closer to you with all excuses.
You know, I could press buttons here. That'd be value add.
Actually, I could have someone. No, you know what? You do that. Okay. You look sexier for pressing buttons. I tell you when, okay? So not now. Relax. So, lobbying, denial, this is what's happening when you're there. You don't want to move. You want to put all energy behind staying in your dreamland. Press the button, please. And again. Yes, and again. So, you see that? Restructuring, M&As, so every little competition, let's swallow them. Before they come to the market and take our place, let's eat them up, let's kill them. So you do everything necessary here to stay in your dreamland. It's a horizontal game. It's not giving you the chance to grow. Grow, I mean mentally, strategically. It's just like, let's get bigger. Let's put our hands on the whole area. Press the button, please. And again. And one more. Yes. Why do I call it hell? Because after the ones come and throw you out of your dreams, you are in the worst possible scenario. Now is the time you did really bad and you were not creating value for anyone. So, and the only thing you had was capturing value, which you are now losing to the competition. So you are the lowest possible. You are not paying your shareholders, and you have nothing to offer to the people. You have to start from scratch. If I ask you one thing, a typical startup who sees this happening, where would be the entry point of a startup in this picture? Sorry? Now give me a bottom, right, left, something like that. Left, top, center, never. I told you, us academics, we have 4 corners. Don't get me nervous with your center. I don't know where to stand. Yes, top, left, if you mean this way, that's correct. That's the privilege of us when we do startups. We don't have that dream. There is not there for us yet. And we have no low. We have actually the high because we start for others. We start with empty pockets. We put every penny in there. So it's a beautiful start. So, can you press a couple of buttons? I tell you when to stop. Yes? Stop. Nightmare. Why? Why is this beautiful place I just described for us startuppers is a nightmare?
You cannot survive.
Yes, it's fucking hard to start. It's like you start, you sell your house. I had people at the pool yesterday saying like, yeah, I have this great business started in LA. I had to sell my house. So this is us starting. Like you shake hands with Marco to start a business and we first say, okay, the next 12 months is unpaid. Like, oh yeah, so wife, children, we will have air to live on for the next 12 months. But yes, you're putting your soul into something great. And why is it great? Because you're creating value for others. That's the amazing part of it. This sacrificing is something unique. All of that, what I'm saying, because this is a strategy class, I'm saying that because when you set up a strategy for whatever you want to do, these are the points you need to fundamentally think of. If you know that in the backburner of your head, you will feel the difference why you're taking the steps and why your strategy is the right one or wrong and so on and so forth. So please see the connection before I start telling you what has it all to do with the strategy. This is purely a strategy, okay? Just as a reminder, if someone doubted. And lady, there is some lady here who needs to tell me the time while I'm working. She's not there. One of you guys roughly tell me, oh, fantastic. I can slow down. And I answer questions as well then. What I say and recommend to the companies whom I consult and were falling from that dreamland to the hell is don't worry. Hell is shitty. You want to get out of it. So there is no worse place to go. And don't worry. I know where I'm leading you to. It's going to be a nightmare. But nightmare is better than burning in the hell, right? So let's go to nightmare. And that always works because there is a huge amount of work to be done to get out of hell in terms of strategic actions needed to be taken to fundamentally restructure your organization. You will redesign your services. You will redesign your look and feel. You want to get yourself becoming sexy again. You're that telecom who was the boring, magenta, color, whatever, and no one cared, and now you need to say we are also for the young people, and we're sexy, and da-da-da-da-da-da. So, no problem. If you're big enough, or you are a monopolist, ending in the hell, it's going to be hard work, way up, but nightmare is better than hell. That would be my message. So you may press, please. What is your name?
Stefano.
Can you clap for Stefano because of his... This is how people get famous in Pi Campus.
Push it back.
Yes, there is always a starting point. It can only get better. Yes, it can only get better.
Monopolist.
You see, he's a monopolist.
The only one that
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, he's got the privilege. Yes, and I know his name. And I know his name. Think about it. Fantastic. Yes, the new entrants are you guys, the startuppers among you. You may press, now you have to intellectually start to realizing that I need to talk to you. You have to do it. So, yes, please, one more. Heaven. Why is that last corner the heaven?
You can reinvest.
It's actually even easy. Sorry?
You can reinvest your.
No, it's simpler than that. Just look at my low and highs. What is happening there right now?
making money and you're creating.
Yes, you're creating value. Thank you, Simone.
Everyone is
An
happy.
IT guy who can know these type of things, that's like, you are both creating value for others and you are capturing value, which you can cycle back again into the whole system. You know, that helps the whole economy growing actually. If all companies around us are sitting up there in that heaven, it's good for everyone. In fact, you remember, Marco, this you said back in Spain a year ago, and that was the reason we started to shake hands, because you said whatever you do is good for everyone. So that was like good to be a venture capitalist who's thinking of others, because the picture, if you're not a venture capitalist or you don't know how their brain works, you always think like, oh yeah, these bastards, conservative guys with lots of money in their pockets. But it's not true. If they manage to run that cycle, it's good for everyone, you know, it's great for the economy. So, what is the disadvantage of heaven? Who knows the rule of gravity? So if there is a heaven up there, there can only be worse. It's true. That's why maintaining that box number 4 is the most difficult step. We started as a startupper, we have this lean small business. The first lines are like, you know, if you have day 1 0 penny and the next morning €1, you made like, wow, 100%, 200%, like 1000%. And from 1 to 2 is still like doubling. But if you have like, you know, 2 million, 2.5 million is like, what? Only this much? Only 20%, only 30%? And that goes lower and lower. Your cost comes, the difficulty, you forget yourself, you forget your soul, you forget your real vision, all of that difficulties. So pretty strong point to keep, and the more important, how you set up strategies to maintain that space. However, I can tell you out of experience that there is a spiral. So if you consider this square like that and you arrive here, there is always a falling back which is going something like this. So that rotation is always pushing you probably. It's seldom happening that you go directly from heaven to your dreamland. Only the top big ones manage to take the space, go up there and become a dream, you know, become a new monopolist on something. There is only 1 or 2 company every decade, you know. But then they find very soon their competition. So the round probably is going from here, have a shortcut and end up in the hell usually. So heaven to hell is the way to go. And then push yourself off again. So far understood? Everything? Okay, we have 15 minutes. I'm open to any questions you have, to debate it, comment it, whatever. Let me see what we can exchange. Otherwise, enjoy the pool. So, shoot, I'm yours. Yes, please.
In the book From 0 to 1, Peter Thiel assumes it makes practically no difference in staying in 4 or 1 corners, because if you are successfully, you have to create a monopoly to avoid the competition with others, to create value, avoiding fights or losing money, bleeding with the struggles with other companies. So is it a bad thing to be a monopolist? Is it inherently tied to creating low value to be a monopolist?
No, I personally don't think it is a bad thing. It's not a question of bad and good at all, to be honest with you. I think the monopolist is either given to you, if we go back to the governmental institutions where government owns train company, banks, blah, blah, blah. But if we look at something like, let's say, Apple manages at some stage to come and become that level, or Microsoft starting something, and at the beginning, they start somewhere here, in their garage, a Bill Gates, until they reach that point, and they start becoming that's why I call it a dream and not a place like hell or heaven, because you start having that privilege of staying there as long as you manage to keep the horizontal gain. So the place to be and your personal decision, if you are in the number 1 or number 4, is literally what you do with your money. Bill Gates, if you look at his past, Microsoft, if you look at their past, the moment they started to be really widely active in putting out social activities or investing in other activities is after they were chucked out of the dreamland and not before. So if they would have done that right from the beginning, maintaining the 4, they would not have the difficulty of losing. But they captured value for a long while, and they started to avoid creating value for others in a new way. Others created that added value, and they lost the competitive edge. So I think, yes, for me, there is a difference between 4 and 1. 4, you have to work to reach. 1, you can remain as long as your strategic decision allows you to stay there if you want so. If I have the choice to avoid to go to the 1, I'd rather stay at the 4. It's more work, it's much harder to remain the momentum and the place, but it's more rewarding, I would say. Any other questions, comments? Yes, please.
So what is, you mentioned the government as the one that provides that
triggers
and maintains the monopoly. But in open markets like Europe and North America, what is, because you were mentioning in your first comment this people going and striving to be a monopoly, but that's not something that you can have as a strategy, because unless the government gives it to you, you have to earn that position. So what is the trigger to get to that dream position?
That's actually just what I commented here. In my eyes, there is no strategic thinking in terms of let's go to that dreamland.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that there is any time in your business strategy where you're heading for that point. You're actually trying to head for number 4,
So
for the heaven. It's exactly, no, it's either given or you have managed to reach a momentum where there has no one been there before. If Tesla manages to widen that whole concept of his electric cars so quickly, so affordable for so many other people, then a Chinese company wouldn't even find a place to go in there. At least not as long as they cannot underrun that financial concept. So that matter of let's do something good, let's be in some area, and then not by random, but by luck, by intelligence, by the concept, you might or might not be the only one. And then you are already almost like a monopolist. So I don't think that this is a place you try to go towards. I think that's a place you reach if no one else has been going that route as long as you are.
If you're in number 4, is the only way to either protect and have a plan if you lose it.
Absolutely. And if you are here, if I'm consulted by a company who are sitting in number 1, then I would say like, oh, you lucky guys. Okay, let's sit and discuss how long can we maintain that. But again, everything I would start working with them is on that horizontal gain. Oh, there is a competition, let's buy them. We need to reduce costs. Because we want to avoid our prices being above, and so on and so forth. So it's not a vertical. Whereas if you're not already there and you're a company and say, let's build up a strategy, then I'd say, okay, here we are, and what is our strategy to go there? And how can we avoid falling down into that hell? That would be the two ways to go.
15 minutes.
Yeah? Fantastic. Yes, please.
So large companies, once they get into one, right?
Say that again. Start again.
Large companies.
Yeah.
The monopolies, they get there. So how do they realize they're there, or they don't realize in general, and that's why they need to go through the long time, or if they realize that, can they do anything to go straight up?
Straight up, I would say impossible. Why? Because the most of the time that companies in that number one realizes they are there is when the house is burning. Because denial is really like the number one, as long as you can avoid.
Yeah, but the question was why?
Because you are in that comfort zone. This is human being. This is in matter of transformation and change. The very first thing we do is, I didn't see that. It wasn't there. I don't want it. If I give you the, when I usually look at the, it's a very simple version of it, okay? I'm simplifying that enormously right now. Emotional change curve, okay? The tree up here, and when you say people, let's have a change, the first thing people do is either stand here and look this direction, la 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 la, because they see like, oh my God, falling, breaking my neck, and crying out, and long way up, oh no. Or they come here, they see that, oh my God, shall we go there? And then they chain themselves to this tree. This is the first emotional reaction when you confront people with change. Because it hurts, because it's inevitable, because it's had all this energy to be invested, and because when you change things, there is no bridge. The only thing you can do is manage it and go a little bit softer, or best case scenario for the financial aspects of it, make sure that the time is done shorter. But you can't take the pain away. And that's why, naturally, as long as we can be here in the number one, if I can avoid it, why shall I leave it, So you see that in a natural manner of bigger companies in competition, if car companies or other big players, how they, look at the last 10 or 15 years, how out of, 50 car dealers, we end up having one or two, because everything you see is owned by, the IDA 3, So there was a question somewhere there I saw. Yes, please.
I just wanted to know, Nokia, for example, I think they were quite successful in the beginning by building rubber tires and stuff like that. Then they transformed somehow over time towards a technology company producing a phone. So they succeeded quite over time to change and create value and be innovative. Why did they fail in the end?
It's interesting. I always give, this is a good example. Kodak could be a similar example. Sony could be a similar example in the type of work where they stopped actually reinventing themselves and putting the right energy behind innovation. So companies who had a chance, who had a niche, who had a product which was interesting, if we look back to companies like even Motorola with their phone. So there are these examples where I remember okay, some of you, she never had it, I'm sure, but maybe you had it, you surely had one, I'm sure. You are the type of person. Who had a Sony Walkman here? Oh, you didn't have it? Oh my God. And how did you have a Sony? You're just so young. Yes, you are young. I mean, imagine, these guys had the idea of portable music way before Apple came up with their iPad, whatever. I'm old. I am a Sony Walkman generation. So, I mean, beautiful thing. I had it in a couple of colors here. I had it waterproof. fantastic. They could have easily, evolved that and reinvented it, and they could have been the market leaders. They had it all. So these are these crucial moments in the time where, I'm generalizing, of course. I'm black and whitening due to time. But yes, so they are, for each of these example companies like Kodak, like Motorola, like Sony, like Nokia, there is a moment in time where in the line of their production, they miss the right strategic action to be taken, which leads into losing that competitive edge, if that answers your question more or less. Fantastic.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Do you see any risk that companies like Google, Facebook, or Amazon can somehow slip from heaven? They were going to be heaven for a long time, my feeling, but simply too powerful in terms of what they can.
Exactly. Well, you do agree.
Can you repeat the question, Jan?
Sorry. Can you repeat the question, please?
No, I was just asking if how we evaluate the risk that companies like Google, Amazon, or Facebook are simply too powerful, and therefore they can't be relaxed because they got resources, talents, lobbying, a lot of staying power, and then probably will be heaven for them, not necessarily it's going to be heaven for the rest. I think all about issues like privacy, this kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So, two personal opinion from my end to that, and I'm sure that this is a topic which would burn under the finger of a number of you. I saw the smiles in a couple of faces. The one thing I would say is, yes, you well said, if we look at what happens in that dreamland, we could argue that Google did just the right thing. So all of these little startups are swallowed immediately by Facebook and Google of this world. So they do exactly this homework to remain in that number one, in that dreamland, and have that monopoly. They actually generate that monopoly for themselves very quickly. They start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And what I cannot comment professionally, and it's just a personal opinion, is that I see how two-folded the whole society fights against this monopolism of these organizations. And I think it would be a social-political aspect to what lengths can they maintain. When is the turning point where evolution could become revolutionary and the pressure of the society will be so high so that they'll have to give way? Otherwise, as long as they manage to keep the balance of keeping you happy and keeping the level of pain under the radar of revolution, they would milk you. That would be my personal analysis of the case. So unless generally a pressure is generated at a level which it can keep it over, they will survive to stay in that dream. Who else would take it away from them? I don't know if anyone else. This topic is actually really, really interesting for a debate. So I don't know if there is anyone in the room who has a very clear opinion on that. Please shoot.
No, I have another question. That is how
We have 5 minutes.
Yeah, how you can bring this.
No, wait. Is it a comment to this one?
No.
Wait for a second.
Yes.
Was yours a comment to this?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Then he goes first.
Yes.
Shoot.
Right.
Yes, please.
Now, that's very good comment, the one that you made, but it seems to some extent underestimated the contribution of the antitrust. So, you may well remember what happened 20 or 30 years ago with the oil companies. They reached, of course, a dominant position in the market and they went down. Now, I think that sooner or later, we're going to have an issue of that kind for the FGA as well. The antitrust, the commission charge was more than $2 billion to Google, and we know why. The real issue is that all of this company, of course, they enjoy a dominant position, which is synonymous of monopoly. The question is because they have control on data, mega data. So the mega data is the real assets. So the issue we're going to be what is the social and economic use of the mega data for the benefit of the social community. So that's, I'm confident that sooner or later, both at political and social level, as you mentioned, as well as the antitrust, this will be something to do.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I am short of time. Your question I answer privately, if you may. Okay. Yes? Is that good? Fair enough? Okay. Because if that's okay, I would like to thank you all very, very much and start leaving the room for the next one. Thanks for being here and enjoy the rest of the day, please. Thank you very much.